When OPPO Philippines launched the Reno 10 series last year, we were thoroughly impressed with how capable they were, especially when it came to taking photos. Now, its successor, the OPPO Reno11 series, is finally here. Given the reputation of its predecessor, we have some high expectations for the Reno11 series. Sup peeps, earlier Vigatech, and in this video we'll be reviewing the OPPO Reno11 Pro 5G in particular. But if you're interested in the standard OPPO Reno11, we also have a video of that in our channel. Given how up-to-date the OPPO Reno 10 Pro is, the question you're probably thinking about is it worth the upgrade? Well, roll that OOV and let's find out in this review. When it comes to styling, the OPPO Reno11 Pro maintains its consistency compared to its predecessor. You still get the sleek, minimalist back panel, especially in this rough gray colorway. Like before, the finish is relatively smudge and fingerprint resistant. As such, I preferred using this phone without the provided case. The most obvious difference between its predecessor would be the new camera housing, which features a revised lens layout. The color matches the rest of the body now, and I personally like this design change, but what do you think? Aside from the new colors and the camera housing, the only other visual change would be the position of the OPPO logo. As for the rest of the phone, you get the same placement of buttons and ports. So no ports at the top or left side, but at the bottom you get a USB Type-C port, a dual SIM card slot, and a single downward firing loudspeaker. On the right side, you'll find the volume rocker along the power button. One minor change OPPO made to the Reno11 Pro is that it's now slimmer and lighter than before. It now measures just 7.59mm thick and weighs only 181 grams. But despite the slimmer size, the phone doesn't feel fragile. Power up the Reno11 Pro and you're greeted by a large 6.7-inch AMOLED curved screen. It also appears to be a carryover from the previous model since the specs are almost identical. You get the same 950 nits of peak brightness, a refresh rate of 120Hz, and an HDR10+ colors. The screen is even protected by the same Asahi Glass AGC. But just because the display is a carryover, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. The display of the Reno 10 Pro was one thing we like about the smartphone as with the Reno 11 Pro. You get vivid, beautiful colors and deep blacks as expected from a 10-bit AMOLED display. Like before, you can even adjust the color saturation and temperature to your preference. With a 120Hz refresh rate and 240Hz touch sampling rate, you can even game well. Even when you're not playing games, going through the menu feels nice and smooth. And it also makes watching videos a lot more enjoyable. The only downside of the OPPO Reno11 Pro are its loudspeaker or lack thereof. Like before, it only features a single downward firing loudspeaker, which is something we complained about in the Reno 10 Pro. Given the price point of this phone, you'd expect it to have a stereo speaker setup. To elaborate, the mono loudspeaker is loud, but it can easily be muffled if you accidentally cover it with your finger. Still, for a better viewing experience, I recommend pairing the phone with your favorite Bluetooth headphones or earbuds. While OPPO did change the rear camera housing, the internals of the Reno11 Pro's triple rear camera appears to be the same. It features a 50-megapixel main shooter with a large 1/1.56-inch sensor accompanied by a 32-megapixel telephoto and an 8-megapixel ultrawide. OPPO didn't say what sensors these are, but it's possibly the same Sony IMX units as before. As for the front camera, you get a 32-megapixel shooter. With that being said, the Reno11 Pro takes great images. The photos come out sharp and vibrant, even when you're using up to 5x zoom. However, do note that the sharpness tends to drop at 5x zoom, but that's to be expected. And for those who are a bit OC with colors, rest assured that they're accurate. OPPO's AI algorithm does a great job at enhancing the images, and as a result, they don't look flat or too over-edited. For the average user, the photos are more than enough to upload to social media directly. The Reno11 Pro's camera works well at night too. Even without using the night mode, you can take nice images without too much noise. Just check out some of the photos we were able to take using the Reno11 Pro here. Looks great, right? As for videos, the Reno11 Pro can now shoot at a maximum of 4K at 60 frames per second. You also get a host of stability features to help shoot better content, such as ultra steady mode. Overall, the video quality is great during the day or when shooting in well-lit places. And even at night, there appears to be some quality improvement. Some of you might have been disappointed that the OPPO Reno10 Pro only came with a Snapdragon 778 chipset, but the Reno11 Pro is now powered by a powerful MediaTek Dimensity 8200 with 12GB of RAM.
Our review unit comes with 512GB of internal storage.
It's quite adequate, but you might find it lacking if you're taking a lot of photos and videos. Unfortunately, there's no micro SD slot, so you can't expand storage further. With the new Dimensity 8200 chipset, you get a lot of more processing power. This means you can multitask more by leaving multiple apps running in the background and you won't run into any issues. As you would expect, you can run the usual plethora games like Mobile Legends, Asphalt 9, and COD Mobile without any issues. But it shines more with more intensive games like Genshin Impact since you can tweak the graphics and settings, giving you a better and more immersive gaming experience. To give you an idea of how it performs though, check out the benchmark scores here. The battery on the OPPO Reno11 Pro is 4600 mAh unit, which is the same as its predecessor. It is smaller than what you expect in most smartphones, but with the new chipset, it does seem to last a bit longer. When I started using it for the usual day-to-day tasks, you can expect it to last you an entire day. But when I started playing games or using the camera more often, the battery did drop rather quickly. Using our video loop test, we were able to register around 16 hours and 40 minutes. While it does have a smaller battery as compared to other smartphones in the segment, OPPO does make up for it with an 80 watts fast charging system when using the provided cable and brick. If you've made this far into this video, you're probably wondering how much the OPPO Reno11 Pro 5G costs. Well, it starts at 31,999, making the new model 2,000 pesos more expensive than its predecessor. At the same time, you get a great looking phone that can capture great content, a nice display, and play more graphic intensive games. The only downside is that you have a short battery life and a mono loudspeaker to contend with. If you're someone who's already bought the Reno10 Pro last year, the upgrade may not be worth it. But if you haven't and want a relatively well-packaged phone with a really nice camera, you can go wrong with OPPO Reno11 Pro 5G. So, what do you think about the OPPO Reno11 Pro 5G? Is it a phone you'll consider buying this 2024? Share your comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video or found it informative, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, visit yugatech.com to stay updated with the latest tech news and reviews, along with our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or X. Again, this is Earl, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!